Astronomy. Astronomy is the study of the universe and the celestial bodies, gas, and dust particles within it. Astronomy includes observation and theories about the solar system, stars, galaxies, and the general structure of space. The vast empty space around us that consists of solar system, stars, and galaxies, etc. is called universe. Universe is defined as sum of all matter energy that exists or has existed both in space and time. The universe can also be defined as the totality of everything that exists, including all matter and energy, the planets, stars, galaxies, and the contents of intergalactic space. This is universe. Astronomical system of units. Astronomical system of units is a system of measurement developed for use in astronomy. It was adopted by the International Astronomical Union in 1976 and has been significantly updated in 1994 and 2009. The system was developed because of the difficulties in measuring and expressing astronomical data in an international system of units (SI units). The astronomical system of units is a tridimensional system that it can define units in length, mass, and time only. Astronomical unit of time. The astronomical unit of time is the day, defined as 86,400 seconds. 365.25 days make up 1 Julian year. The symbol D is used in astronomy to refer to this unit of time. Astronomical unit of mass. The astronomical unit of mass is solar mass. The solar mass is 1.98892 multiplied by 10 raised to power 30 kilogram is a standard way to express mass in astronomy used to describe masses of the other stars and galaxies. It is equal to the mass of the sun. Astronomical units of length. An astronomical unit is defined as the average distance between the earth and the sun, and it is approximately 150 million kilometers or exactly 149 billion 597,870,700 meters. Astronomical unit light year and parsec are the units for measuring huge distances. A light year is the distance that light can travel in 1 year in a vacuum, which is about 5.8 multiplied 10 raised to power 12 miles or 63,240 AU or 9.46053 multiplied by 10 raised to power 12 kilometers. A parsec is a unit of distance that is equal to 3.26 light years or 3.085678 multiplied by 10 raised to power 13 kilometers. It is the distance at which a star would have a parallax of 1 second of arc. Origin of the universe. The problem of the universe is a bit like the old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? In other words, what agency created the universe and what created that agency? Or perhaps the universe or the agency that created it existed forever and didn't need to be created. Stephen Hawking. The Big Bang Theory. It is very important. The Big Bang Theory is the leading explanation about how the universe began. At its simplest, it talks about the universe as we know is starting with a simple, significantly, then a small singularity, then inflating over the next 13.7 billion years to the cosmos that we know today. Because current instruments don't allow astronomers to peer back at the universe's birth, much of what we understand about the Big Bang Theory comes from the mathematical theory and models. Nicholas Copernicus. Nicholas Copernicus proposed a heliocentric sun-centered model for solar system in which the sun is stationary at the center and the earth and other planets orbit around it. Before Copernican theory was accepted, astronomers believed that Earth was stationary at the center of the solar system and the Sun and the planets revolved around it. Italian physicist and astronomer Galileo attempted to publicize Copernican theory in the early 1600s and was convicted as a result. Copernican theory was not widely accepted until late 17th century. This is all. Evidence for Big Bang theory. By analyzing the spectrum of light from a star or galaxy, astronomers can tell how fast it is moving and whether it is moving towards Earth or away from Earth. If an object is moving away from Earth, its light shifts to longer, redder wavelengths, an effect known as redshift. If an object is moving towards Earth, its light shifts to shorter blue wavelength, an effect known as blue shift. Redshift supports Big Bang theory. How it supports Big Bang theory? Because Big Bang theory tells that earlier there were small particles and then this small particle expands and make a universe. Similarly, redshift means wavelength increase, which means expansion. So, redshift phenomena supports Big Bang theory. The light from distant galaxies is redshift. This tells us the galaxies are moving away from us, and further away the galaxy, the greater the redshift. This tells us that the more distant galaxy, the faster it is moving. A second evidence that supports Big Bang theory is cosmic background microwave radiation. Amo Penzias and Wilson detected a cosmic microwave background radiation while studying radio signals. These radiations are received from all parts of the universe and is thought to be heat left over the original expansion or Big Bang. There are different models proposed by scientists for future of universe. From the structure, what will be the structure of universe? So these four models are: first is closed model, contracting universe theory. The second one is flat model, steady state theory. The third one is cyclic model, cyclic universe theory, and fourth one is open model, expanding universe theory. What is galaxy? A galaxy is a gravitationally bound system of stars, stellar remnants, interstellar gas, dust, and dark matter. The word galaxy is derived from Greek galaxias, literally means milky, a reference to the Milky Way. Astronomers estimate that about 100 to 200 billion galaxies exist in the observable universe. Milky Way and Andromeda are the examples of galaxy. Galaxies range in size from dwarf to with just a few thousand stars to giant with 100 trillion stars, each orbiting around their galaxy's own center of mass. Galaxies are categorized according to their visual morphology, including elliptical, spiral, and irregular shapes. Many galaxies are thought to have black holes at their own centers, active centers. What is black hole? Black hole is a massive object or it is a space that is so dense, is a massive object which is so dense that within a certain radius its gravitational field does not let anything escape from it, even light. Milky Way. Milky Way is the large disk-shaped galaxy that includes our solar system. A spiral galaxy is shaped like a disk, usually with a bulge in the center and with arms that spiral outwards as the galaxy rotates. As just shown in this picture, this is the picture of Milky Way galaxy. Okay, in addition to the sun, the Milky Way contains about 200 to 400 billion other stars. Most of the stars that we can see are in the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way looks like a faint band of white in the night sky. Main features of Milky Way galaxies are the following. The Milky Way galaxy is about 1 lakh light years in diameter. This spiral galaxy formed about 13.7 billion years ago. Sun takes roughly 250 million years to orbit around the Milky Way. Our solar system is about 30,000 light years away from the center of Milky Way galaxy. The major arms of the Milky Way galaxy are the Perseus arm, Sagittarius arm, Centaurus arm, and Cygnus arm. Centaurus arm and Cygnus arms. Okay. Sixth point is our solar system is in a minor arm called the Orion Super or Orion arm. The region in space occupied by Milky Way is called galactic plane. Nearest galaxy to the Milky Way galaxy is Andromeda. Our Milky Way is the part of the cluster of 3 dozens of galaxies called local group. Our solar system consists of sun, planets, dwarf planets, moons, and an asteroid belt, comets, meteors, and other objects. The sun is the center of our solar system, and all other objects in the solar system orbit the sun. Our solar system is elliptical in shape, which means that it is shaped like an egg. The sun is the biggest object in our solar system and contains more than 99% solar system mass. Solar system contains planets, dwarf planets, satellites, asteroids, meteoroids, and comet. Our solar system is around 4.5 billion years old. It is formed out of a huge cloud of gas and dust called solar nebula. Under gravity, the cloud collapsed and material formed the sun and a disk of matter in which the planets were born. Sun. Sun is a star. Star is a huge ball of gas, mostly it is hydrogen and helium. Nuclear fusion reactions inside the stars release enormous amount of energy. Stars are very hot and give off their own light. This is why we can see the sun during the day and distant stars in the night sky. Scientists usually divide sun into 3 main regions: sun interior, the solar atmosphere, and the visible surface of sun which lies between the interior and the atmosphere. There are 3 main parts of the sun interior: the core, the radioactive zone, and the convective zone. The core is at the center. It is the hottest region where the nuclear fusion reactions that power the sun occur. The core of the sun is considered to extend from the center to about 25% of the solar radius. It has a density of about 150 times the density of water. The core is the only section of the sun that produces heat through fusion. The temperature is 15 million degrees Celsius. Moving outward, next comes the radiative or radiation zone. Its its name is derived from the way energy is carried outward through this layer, carried by photons as thermal radiation. The radiative material is hot and dense enough that normal radiation, not fusion, transfers the intense heat of the core outward. The third part of solar interior is named the convective or convection zone. It is also named after the dominant mode of energy flow in this layer. Heat moves through upward convection. The convection plasma is not dense or hot enough to transfer the heat energy of the interior outward through radiation. As a result, the thermal convection occurs once the material once the material cools off at the surface. It plunges downward to the base of the convective zone to absorb more heat from the top of the radiative zone and then repeats the cycle. The boundary between the sun's interior and the solar atmosphere is called the photosphere. It is what we see as the visible surface of the sun. The photosphere is not like the surface of a planet. Sun also has an atmosphere. The lower region of the solar atmosphere is called the chromosphere. Its name comes from the Greek root chroma, meaning color, for it appears light bright red when viewed during a solar eclipse. A thin transition region where temperature rises sharply separates the chromosphere from the vast corona above. The uppermost portion of the sun atmosphere is called corona and is surprisingly much hotter than the sun's surface photosphere. Okay, this is the spots. This is the whole structure of sun. So when we talk about the inner structure, here we talk about the three main parts of the sun interior, which is one is core, and that is the core structure. The second one is radiative zone. So radiative zone is our radiation zone. This one is radiation zone. And then third part is convective zone or convection zone, and this is the convection zone after the radiation zone. The fourth, and so now we talk about outward regions. Important physical features of sun. The first one is diameter of sun, which is that is 1,391,940 kilometers, that is 870,000 miles. Mass of sun is 1.89 multiplied by 10 raised to power 30 kilogram or 330,000 times of earth. Sun is composed of 94% hydrogen, 24% helium, 2% heavy metals on the basis of percentage of total mass. The density of sun is 1.41 gram per centimeter cube. Temperature at core of the sun is 15 million degrees Celsius, 27.5 million Fahrenheit, and at the surface of sun its temperature is 5500 degrees Celsius, that is 9934 degree Fahrenheit. 9932 degree Fahrenheit. Sixth point is the main distance from Earth is 150 million kilometer or 93 million miles. Seventh point is sun has very large active magnetic field. Sun is moving around the center of gravity at a velocity of 220 km per second. It revolves around Milky Way in about 250 million years. Last point is sun rays reach Earth's surface in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Planets. Planet is the term used for a body in orbit around the sun. The word planet comes from the Greek planetes, which means wanderers. Our solar system contains 8 planets. Our solar system has 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Pluto, which was considered a planet some years back, is now classified as dwarf planet. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the planets closest to the Sun. They are called the inner planets. The inner planets are made up mostly of rock. Therefore, they are also called rocky planets or terrestrial planets. They are very small as compared to outer planets, therefore, are also called inferior planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are outer planets, also called Jovian or Jupiter like planets because these are large in size. All outer planets are also called gaseous planets because they have atmosphere of hydrogen and helium and they have rings. They also have rings. Jupiter, Saturn and Uranus and Neptune have rings around their planets. Okay, terrestrial planets, Jovian planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars are terrestrial planets. They are closest to Sun, small masses and radii, rocky solid surfaces. They have high densities. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars have slow rotation. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars have weak magnetic field. They have no rings around their planets and they have few moons, as our Earth has only one moon. Okay, on the other side, we have Jovian planets. They are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They are far from Sun, large masses and large radii. They have gaseous surfaces. They have low densities. They have fast rotation. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune have strong magnetic field. They have many rings around their planets and they have many moons. Physical properties of planets are physical characteristics of planets. Mercury. Mercury is smallest and fastest revolving planet. Its diameter is 4900 km. Mercury is about small size as our moon. It is closest to the sun. It was named after Mercury, the swift messenger of the gods in ancient Roman mythology. Mercury has no atmosphere, therefore humans would not be able to live there. The surface of Mercury has holes in it where objects such as meteoroids and asteroids crash into it. Mercury is made of dense rocky materials, therefore has high density. Mercury revolves around Sun in 88 days. Mercury is 58 million kilometers away from Sun. Mercury's temperature is minus 170 to 450 degrees Celsius. Okay, Venus. Venus is the hottest and brightest planet. Here temperature rises to 460 to 480 degrees Celsius on the side facing the sun. Venus has very thick, rapidly expanding cloud of CO2 which cover its surface. These clouds hold heat in it, that is why Venus gets so hot. These clouds also reflect sunlight, that is why Venus appears so bright. Venus is almost equal the size of Earth. Therefore, it is termed as sister planet of Earth because of its size. Venus has several large inactive volcanoes. Venus rotates from east to west while all other planets rotate from west to east. Venus spins very slowly. One day of Venus is equal to 244 Earth days. Venus revolution period is 225 days and Venus has no rings and no moons. Okay, some interesting information about Venus is that when Venus is visible in the morning, it reaches its maximum brightness shortly before sunrise, and when When it is visible in the evening, it reaches its maximum brightness that just after sunset. That is why Venus got the names morning star and evening star. Earth. Earth is the most colorful and densiest planet. The Earth is the biggest of all the terrestrial planets. It is at third position and fifth largest in solar system. Venus is the closest planet to Earth. The diameter of Earth is 12,756 km or 7,926 miles. The circumference measured around the equator is 24,901 miles or 40,075 km. Earth is the only planet of solar system which can support life. About 30% of the Earth's surface is covered with land, while about 70% is covered by oceans. Earth has one moon. Its name is Luna. It has an atmosphere made up of many different gases, mainly nitrogen and oxygen. Earth completes one revolution around Sun in 365 days. Earth rotates around its axis and it takes 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds one day to spin around its axis. Earth is the densest planet. Its density is 5.52 gram per centimeter cube. Mars. Mars is the second smallest planet. Mars is the second smallest planet. Mars is called red planet due to the presence of red dust. The temperature on Mars can be very, very cold. At the top and bottom of the planet are poles just like on Earth. Mars has average temperature of minus 30 degrees Celsius. Mars surface is very interesting as it has many craters which were found by meteorites or asteroids hitting it. Mars also has some of the tallest mountains and some of the deepest valleys in our solar system. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, which have unusual shapes. Mars' atmosphere is composed of CO2, carbon dioxide. Mars' diameter is 6,780 km. Mars is 228 million km away from Sun. Its rotation period is 24 hours and 40 minutes. Mars' revolution period is 687 days. Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest and fastest rotating planet. Huge storms of swirling gases can be found in Jupiter's atmosphere. The largest storm of gas is called Great Red Spot. Large bolts of lightning have also been seen in Jupiter's atmosphere. It is 1350 times bigger than Earth in volume and 318 times massive than Earth. Jupiter has 67 moons. Ganymede is the largest moon of Jupiter and is the largest in our solar system. One day of the Jupiter is equal to 9 hours and 55 minutes of the Earth. Its revolution period is 11.86 years. Jupiter has rings which are not so visible. Average temperature of Jupiter is minus 50 degrees Celsius. How to convert miles into kilometer? Miles to kilometer formula is 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometer. 5 mile is equal to how many kilometers? 5 multiplied by 1 mile. 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometer. 1 mile की जगह पे 1.609 kilometer values put करेंगे and then we multiply with 5 and the answer is in kilometer. Okay, how to convert kilometer to mile? 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometer. 1.609 multiplied by 1 kilometer. 1 mile divided by 1.609 is equal to 1 kilometer. Now 15 kilometer is equal to how many miles. 15 kilometer, 15 multiplied by 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer is equal to 1 mile divided by 1.609, which is equal to 9.32 miles. 15 kilometer is equal to 9.32 miles. Saturn is the second biggest planet and is also called ring planet. Saturn is surrounded by ring made of ice and dust. Its duration is 10 hours and 15 minutes and is second fastest rotating planet. Saturn is very large gaseous planet which spins very rapidly on its axis. Saturn's atmosphere has winds which can blow at over 1800 kilometers per hour. The white spots on Saturn are believed to be powerful storms. Saturn has density of 0.71 gram per cubic centimeter. Since Saturn is less dense than water, it would be actually float like an apple if you could find a pool large enough. Saturn has 62 moons. Titan, Saturn moon, is the second largest moon of our solar system. Its diameter is 120,800 kilometers. Its distance from Sun is 1,430 million kilometers. Its average temperature is minus 80 degrees Celsius. Uranus. Uranus is the green planet because its atmosphere is made up of hydrogen, helium, and methane. Temperature in the upper atmosphere is very cold. The rapid rotation of Uranus causes winds up to 600 kilometers per hour to blow in its atmosphere. Uranus has 13 known rings which contain dark boulder sized particles. Uranus has 27 moons. Its rotation period is of 17 hours. Its revolution period is equal to 64 Earth years. Its mean distance from Sun is 2,870 million kilometers. Its diameter is 5,180 kilometers. Neptune. Neptune is the farthest planet from the Sun. Neptune is the coolest and slowest revolving planet. Its orbital period is of 165 years. Neptune and Uranus are called twin planets. Neptune has winds in its atmosphere which blow at over 2000 kilometers per hour. This planet has large dark circles on its surface, which astronomers believe to be storms. Neptune has two thick and two thin rings surrounding it. Neptune has 14 known moons. The period of rotation is about 16 hours. Its diameter is 49,400 kilometers. It is 4,500 million kilometers away from Sun. Its biggest moon, Titan, is the sixth largest moon of our solar system. The difference between a star and a planet. Star is a massive shining sphere of hot gases. A planet is a round body in space that orbits around a star. A star shines by releasing light produced by nuclear fusion. Planets do not produce light. Different heavenly objects revolve around stars such as planets, dwarf planets, asteroids, etc. Objects that revolve around planets are called satellites, for example, moon. Stars revolve around the center of their galaxy. Planets revolve around stars. Stars have very high temperature, like Sun has a surface temperature of 5,500 to 6,000 degrees Celsius. Planets derive energy and heat from Sun, therefore the ones near to Sun are hotter. Examples of stars are Sun, Proxima Centauri, Antares, and Pistal star. Planets examples are Earth, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, etc. Physical features of planets. Planets. The first one planet is Mercury. Mercury is 58 kilometers away from Sun. Its diameter is 4,900 kilometers, that is approximately 5,000 kilometers. Period of revolution around Period of revolution of Mercury according to Earth time is 88 days. Period of rotation of Mercury is 59 days. Average temperature at Mercury is minus 170 to 450 degrees Celsius. Mean density of Mercury is 5.43 gram per centimeter cube. Atmospheric composition of Mercury is no air. No number of moons in Mercury are 0. Number of rings around Mercury are 0. Prominent features of Mercury are smallest and fastest revolving planet, Venus. Venus is 110 km away from the Sun, 12,100 km diameter. Period of revolution of Venus is 225 days. Period of rotation are 243 days. Average temperature of Venus is 480 degrees Celsius. Mean density of Venus is 5.25 gram per centimeter cube. Atmospheric composition of Venus is that Venus composed only on carbon dioxide. Number of moons 0. Number of rings around Venus, there are no rings. And prominent features of Venus is Venus is hottest, brightest and morning evening star. Okay, the next planet is Earth. Earth is 150 km away from Sun. Diameter of Earth is 12,756 km. Period of revolution of Earth is 365 days, 0.25 days. Period of rotation of Earth is 24 hours. Average temperature of Earth 15 degrees Celsius. Mean density of Earth is 5.52 gram per centimeter cube. Composition of atmosphere in Earth is nitrogen and oxygen mainly. Number of moons 1. Number of rings, there are no rings around Earth. Prominent features of Earth are heaviest and most dense planet. The next planet is Mars. Mars is 228 days away from the Sun. The diameter of Mars is 6,780 km. Period of revolution of Mars is 1.88 years, that is approximately 2 years. Period of rotation 24 hours to 40 minutes. 24 hours and 40 minutes. Average temperature of Mars is minus 30 degrees Celsius. Mean density of Mars 3.93 gram per centimeter cube. Atmospheric composition of Mars only carbon dioxide. Number of moons 2. Number of rings 0. Prominent features of Mars is that red plain and second smallest planet. Mars is also a red planet because its colors appears like red. Its atmosphere appears like red, and it is second smallest planet. Jupiter. Jupiter is 780 km away from the Sun. Diameter of Jupiter is 1,42,800 km. Period of revolution of Jupiter is 11.86 years. Period of rotation of Jupiter is 9 hours and 55 minutes. Average temperature of Jupiter is minus 150 degrees Celsius. Mean density of Jupiter is 1.33 gram per centimeter cube. Jupiter atmospheric composition is hydrogen and helium. Number of moons of Jupiter are 67. Number of rings, yes, it has rings. Okay, the prominent features of Jupiter are biggest, most massive and fastest rotating planet. Saturn. Saturn distance from Sun is 1430 km. Diameter of Saturn is 1,20,800 km. Period of revolution of Saturn is 29.46 years, that is almost 30 years. Period of rotation of Saturn are 10 hours and 15 minutes. Average temperature of Saturn minus 180 degrees Celsius. Mean density 0.71 gram per centimeter cube. Atmospheric composition: hydrogen and helium. Number of moons: 62. And number of rings: yes, there are rings present. Prominent features of Saturn is ring planet, least dense and second largest planet. The next planet is Uranus. Uranus distance from sun is 2070 2870 kilometer. Diameter of Uranus is 51,800 kilometer. Period of revolution of Uranus is 86 years. Period of rotation 17 hours. The average temperature at Uranus minus 210 degrees Celsius. Mean density 1.24 gram per centimeter cube. Atmospheric composition: hydrogen and helium. Number of moons: 27. Number of rings are present. Uranus is also called green planet. At the last, Neptune. Neptune has distance from from sun is 4,500 away from sun. Diameter 49,400. Period of revolution 164.79 years, that is almost 165 years. Period of rotation 16 hours. Average temperature minus 220 degrees Celsius, and its density is 1.67 gram per centimeter cube. Mainly, it is the last four planets have atmospheric composition: hydrogen and helium. Neptune has number of moons: 14. There are rings present. Okay, prominent features of Neptune are coldest and slowest revolving planet. Dwarf planets. The International Astronomical Union has defined a planet as a celestial body that it orbits the celestial body is in orbit around a star but is not a satellite itself. Has sufficient masses so it is nearly spherical in shape. Has cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. ओके, तो इंटरनेशनल एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल यूनियन ने जो फीचर्स बताए हैं प्लैनेट्स के लिए, जो कि डवार्फ प्लैनेट्स होते हैं, उन्हें हम कैलेस्ट्रल बॉडी इस तरह मानते हैं कि अगर उनमें ये तीन फीचर्स प्रेजेंट हो. ओके, ऑन द अदर हैंड अ डवार्फ प्लैनेट इज डिफाइंड एज कैलेस्ट्रियल बॉडी दैट, ये फीचर्स प्लैनेट्स के हैं और ये फीचर्स डवार्फ प्लैनेट्स के हैं. And dwarf planets is defined as celestial body that is in orbit around a star but is not itself a satellite. Has sufficient mass so it is nearly spherical in shape. Has not cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. The only difference between a planet and the dwarf planet is the area surrounding the only difference between a planet and dwarf planet is the area surrounding each celestial body. A dwarf planet has not cleared the area around its orbit while a planet has. The dwarf planet recognized dwarf planets in our solar system. The dwarf planet could do not the dwarf planet could not do so because of small size and less gravitational pull. There are 5 officially recognized dwarf planets in our solar system. They are Chris, Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris. With the exception of Chris, which is located in the asteroid belt, the other dwarf planets are found in the outer solar system, that is Kuiper belt. Pluto is considered to be a dwarf planet because objects in Kuiper belt are within its orbit and it is unable to attract them. For many years, Pluto was thought as the farthest known planet from the Sun. Pluto has 5 moons. Moon. The natural satellite is a body in space that orbits a larger body planet. The larger body is referred to as the satellite primary. Natural satellites that orbit planets are often called moons. Our moon, named Luna, is the fifth largest moon in the solar system. Its diameter is 3,475 km and its mass is 7.3 multiplied by 10 raised to power 22 kg, or 1 by 81 of Earth. Its density is 3.347 gram per centimeter cube. The average distance of the moon from Earth is 384,400 kilometers, or 238,857 miles. The moon orbits the Earth every 27 days and 7 hours. The effect of gravity on moon surface is 1 over 6th of Earth's gravity. The average surface temperature of the moon is 107 degrees Celsius during the day and minus 153 degrees Celsius at night. Moon has no atmosphere, but it has negligible amount of inert gases. It has 1.3 seconds to moonlight to reach the Earth. Moon is one-fourth the size of its mother planet, that is Earth. Solar and lunar eclipse. An eclipse takes place when one heavenly body, such as moon or planet, moves into the shadow of another heavenly body. There are two types of eclipse on Earth: an eclipse of the moon and an eclipse of the sun. Lunar eclipse. The moon moves in an orbit around the Earth, and at the same time, Earth orbits the sun. Sometimes Earth moves between the sun and the moon, and when this happens, Earth blocks the sunlight that normally is reflected by the moon. This sunlight is what causes the moon to shine. Instead of light hitting the moon's surface, Earth's shadows falls on it. This is an eclipse of the moon, a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse can occur only when the moon is full. A lunar eclipse can be seen from Earth at night. इसे चांद ग्रहण भी कह सकते हैं हम lunar eclipse को. Okay. The Earth casts a long conical shadow in space. At any point within that, the cone of the light of the sun is wholly obscured. Surrounding the shadow cone, also called umbra, is an area of the partial shadow called penumbra. A lunar eclipse usually lasts for a few hours. At least two particular lunar eclipses happen every year, but total lunar eclipses are rare. It is safe to look at a lunar eclipse. Three types of lunar eclipses. Penumbral lunar eclipse. The moon only passes through the penumbra of Earth's shadow. It is rarely visible from Earth as there is slight change of color of the moon. Partial lunar eclipse. When part of the moon passes through the umbra of Earth's shadow, then it is termed as partial lunar eclipse, as its whole area is not obscured by the shadow. Total lunar eclipse. When the entire moon passes through the umbral region of the Earth's shadow and moon is totally obscured. So look at the pictures. In this picture, when we saw the picture, this is sun. The sunlight is passing to Earth and the moon. While moon is surrounding around the Earth, जब अर्थ सनलाइट के आगे आ जाता है और मून यहाँ से मूव ऑन करता है, तो यहाँ पर पार्शियल लूनर इक्लिप्स होता है, जिसे हम पेनुम्ब्रा कहते हैं. और जब मून रिवॉल्व करते करते यहाँ से सामने आ जाता है, और उस वक्त कम्प्लीटली लाइट मून तक नहीं पहुँच पाती क्योंकि अर्थ सामने आ जाता है, तो सनलाइट मून तक नहीं पहुँच पाती और वो टोटल लूनर इक्लिप्स होता है और उसे हम अम्ब्रा कहते हैं. एंड देन दोबारा से जब मून यहाँ से मूव ऑन करता है एंड द स्मॉल लाइट पार्शियल लाइट रिच टूवर्ड्स मून, देन इट विल बी अगेन पेनुम्ब्रा. सोलर इक्लिप्स, सूरज ग्रहण. Sometimes when the moon orbits around Earth or orbits Earth, it moves between the Sun and Earth. When this happens, the Moon blocks the light of the Sun from reaching Earth. This causes an eclipse of Sun or solar eclipse. During a solar eclipse, the Moon casts a shadow onto Earth. This shadow on the Earth consists of two regions, the umbra and penumbra. Solar eclipses happens once every 18 months. Unlike lunar eclipse, solar eclipse only lasts for a few minutes. Solar eclipse always occurs at the time of new moon. Never look directly at the sun, it can permanently damage your eyes. You must use proper safety equipment to look at any type of solar eclipse. Total types of solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse occurs when the moon completely covers the sun as seen from the earth. Totality during such an eclipse can only be seen from a very small area on earth. This area is usually about 10 miles or 160 km wide and 10,000 miles or 16,100 km long. Area outside this track may be able to see a partial eclipse of the sun. Looking at a solar eclipse without any protective eyewear can severely harm one's eyes. A partial solar eclipse can be observed when the earth, moon and sun do not align in a perfectly straight line and the moon only partially covers the disk of the sun. An annular solar eclipse occurs when the moon appears smaller than the sun as it passes centrally across the solar disk and a bright ring or annulus of sun remains visible during the eclipse. Why don't we have a lunar eclipse every month? You might be wondering why we don't have a lunar eclipse every month as the moon orbits Earth. It's true that moon goes around Earth every month, but it does not always get in Earth's shadow. The moon path around Earth is tilted compared to Earth's orbit around the sun. The moon can be behind Earth but still get hit by light from the sun. Now let's look at the picture. This is sun and this is moon and this is our earth. यहाँ पे अगर हम देखें कि ये जो सिस्टम यहाँ से हो रहा है ये है अर्थ का रिवॉल्विंग ऑर्बिट और ये रिवॉल्विंग ऑर्बिट है मून का. मून यहाँ से जब अर्थ यहाँ से मूव करते करते यहाँ पे आती है इस पॉइंट पे और ये हमारा मून जब ये सारा कवर करके यहाँ पे आता है सन के बिल्कुल सामने, तो फिर होता यूँ है कि ये जो लाइट्स पहुँच रही हैं अर्थ पर, तो एक पार्शियल पॉइंट पर जब मून सामने आ जाता है तो वो एक स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट पर हमारे अर्थ के एक स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट पर वो मून लाइट वो सन लाइट मून से टकरा जाती है और प्रॉपर लाइट अर्थ तक नहीं पहुँच पाती. तो ये जो स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट है इसे हम कहते हैं अम्ब्रा, मतलब कम्प्लीटली इक्लिप्स. यहाँ पर सन पूरी तरह से हमें सोलर इक्लिप्स नज़र आता है, जबकि ये पॉइंट जो है जो इसके इर्द गिर्द हैं अम्ब्रा के वो है पेनम्ब्रा विच मीन्स पार्शियल इक्लिप्स. पार्शियल इक्लिप्स पे हमें थोड़ा सा सोलर इक्लिप्स नज़र आता है, ज़्यादा नहीं आता और वहाँ पर लाइट कुछ ना कुछ पहुँच रही होती है सन की उस एरिया पे अर्थ पे. Asteroids and meteoroids. Asteroids are the largest non-planetary and non-lunar objects in the solar system. These objects are larger than 100 meters in diameter, according to International Astronomical Union, has not defined any size dimensions, and less than 1,000 kilometers in diameter. The largest asteroid is Ceres with a diameter of 950 kilometers. They are generally irregular in shape and often have surfaces covered with craters. These are also named as minor planets or planetoids. Most of them orbit between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. A meteoroid is a small body traveling through space. These bodies typically originate from comets and asteroids. There is no well-defined size range for a meteoroid. However, we usually refer to a meteoroid as a piece of matter which, when it strikes the Earth, atmosphere produces the visual phenomena called a meteor. A fragment that survives to hit the ground is known as a meteorite. Comet. A comet is a celestial body that orbits around the sun. It is made up of a nucleus that is solid frozen ice, gas or dust, a gaseous coma, water vapor, carbon dioxide and other gases, and a tail, which means dust and ionized gases. Its long tail of gases and dust always point away from the sun. Because of the force of the solar wind, the tail can be up to 250 million kilometers long. Comets are only visible when they are near the sun in their highly eccentric orbits. When comets are farthest from sun, they are named dirty snowball. Halley comet is a periodic comet that orbits around the sun. Edmund Halley was the first person to recognize that it is periodic. It was last seen in 1986 and it will be seen next in the year 2061. Its period is 75 years. Constellation. Constellations are group of stars visible within a particular region of the night sky, forming various shapes and patterns. Constellations have been named after the name of animals, tools, and objects. Some other constellations have been named after religious personalities and scientists. Constellations can be viewed after sunset and before sunrise. There are total 88 named constellations. The largest one is Hydra. Other examples include Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, Canis Major, and Canis Minor. So, that is the end of our chapter. Best of luck and thank you so much. Please do subscribe and like my video. Thank you so much.